It seems that Prince Harry and Meghan Markle have once again found themselves at the center of unexpected controversy. And this time, the reason being discussed online is so unusual that it almost feels unbelievable. According to reports circulating across media outlets and social platforms, the Duke and Duchess of Sussex recently traveled to Jordan for a 2-day humanitarian visit. During their trip, they spent time meeting refugees from both Palestine and Syria, shining a spotlight on the struggles faced by displaced families. At first glance, the visit seemed very much in line with the kind of humanitarian work the couple often promotes. Cameras were present, powerful images were captured, and the message was clear: draw global attention to refugee communities and the urgent need for better healthcare support. In fact, many observers initially reacted positively. Even some critics admitted that highlighting refugee issues and medical access wasn't exactly something people could argue against. After all, the trip had been organized with the support of the World Health Organization, and its Director General, Tedros Adhanom Ghebreyesus, publicly thanked the couple for their compassion and generosity. So on the surface, it looked like a typical humanitarian engagement. But when it comes to Harry and Meghan, the story rarely stays simple for long. Soon after the visit, a surprising claim began making the rounds online. According to an unnamed source mentioned in reports, officials in Washington were reportedly frustrated by the timing of the Sussexes' trip. Why? Because at roughly the same time, the United States was reportedly preparing a military operation targeting Iran. The alleged operation was even said to have a name, Operation Epic Fury. And according to this anonymous insider, having two globally recognized public figures conducting what they described as a quasi-royal humanitarian tour in the region at that exact moment created what they called an inconvenient distraction. Yes, inconvenient. The suggestion was that the presence of such high-profile celebrities in the Middle East could have generated unnecessary attention during a sensitive military situation. Now, let's pause for a moment and really look at that claim. First, the timeline. Harry and Meghan's humanitarian visit reportedly ended on the 26th. The military strike that has been discussed in reports allegedly took place 2 days later, on the 28th. Then there's the geography. Jordan, where the Sussexes were meeting refugees, sits roughly 1,000 miles away from Iran. That's a significant distance. So the idea that a short visit to refugee camps in Jordan somehow complicated a secret operation taking place days later and far away might require a bit of imagination. But in today's media landscape, imagination often travels faster than facts. Once a story is framed with dramatic wording like "the White House was furious," it suddenly sounds like an international diplomatic standoff. Headlines begin writing themselves, and speculation spreads quickly. Yet when you look closer, the situation seems far less dramatic. What we actually have is a single anonymous source, a wave of speculation, and a headline that thrives on attention. Still, there is one part of the argument that does hold some weight. High-profile public figures traveling through politically sensitive regions can sometimes create additional security considerations. Governments prefer fewer unpredictable variables when planning complex operations. If something had gone wrong in the region while Harry and Meghan were there, the situation could have become more complicated. But here's the important distinction. The Sussexes weren't acting as diplomats. They weren't negotiating political deals or representing the British government. They were participating in a humanitarian visit arranged by the World Health Organization, something celebrities, activists, and global figures do all the time. Yet somehow, the story has already evolved into another chapter of the long-running narrative that paints Harry and Meghan as accidental disruptors of global affairs. And if you've followed media coverage of the couple over the past few years, you've probably noticed this pattern. No matter what they do, charity projects, interviews, documentaries, or public appearances, reactions usually split into two very different camps. One side sees a couple attempting to build a humanitarian identity beyond the traditional royal system. The other side believes the pair are celebrities carefully managing their public image through highly visible charity tours. Every appearance reignites the same debate. Are they genuinely helping? Are they promoting themselves? Are they interfering? Or are they simply existing in the spotlight, where every move automatically becomes a controversy? Because if there's one thing the internet never seems to run out of, it's controversy. What makes this particular story interesting is that even many critics acknowledged something important: the Jordan trip itself appeared to have positive outcomes. Refugee communities received global attention. Healthcare access was highlighted. Humanitarian organizations gained valuable media coverage. Objectively, those are outcomes most people would consider beneficial. And yet somehow, the narrative still managed to twist itself into a geopolitical drama. Online commentary quickly added another layer of irony. Some people simply shrugged at the entire situation, arguing that if upsetting powerful political figures helps draw attention to humanitarian causes, maybe that's not the worst outcome. Others dismissed the entire story as another exaggerated headline built around anonymous quotes and convenient outrage. And perhaps that's the real takeaway. In today's celebrity news cycle, almost anything can become a controversy. A humanitarian trip can be framed as a diplomatic problem. A charity visit can transform into a geopolitical complication. And two people meeting refugees in Jordan can somehow end up being connected to a military operation thousands of miles away. If nothing else, the situation proves one simple point. When it comes to Prince Harry and Meghan Markle, even a short humanitarian visit meant to highlight refugee struggles can quickly turn into an international headline. Because in the world of royal drama, celebrity media, and viral news cycles, the story is rarely just the story.